All right, good morning, friends. This week we've been working on time. We've talked about our clocks. We've talked about the clock face. We've talked about our minute hand, which is that longer hand, which when it's pointing to the 12, we're talking about our time to the hour, and we use the word o'clock. This is our hour hand, and depending on the clock number that it's pointing to, that tells us what time it is to the o'clock. So yesterday we read about the grouchy ladybug, right? And at each time she met another animal, and it was pretty funny because each animal was bigger than her, and she kept wanting to say to, or she kept saying to them, "Want to fight?" And then she'd say, "You're not big enough." So each hour her animal got bigger and bigger. So for example, if I'm looking at my clock right now, this is saying 10 o'clock, okay? In an hour, it'll be 11 o'clock. An hour is a long time. An hour is 60 minutes. An hour is the time that it might take to watch a television show. It is the time that it might take to bake something or cook dinner. So today what we're going to do is we're going to compare hours, meaning these big numbers between each other, to minutes. And we're going to try to figure out, we're going to look at different activities that we might do, and we're going to sort them and decide, do they take an hour to finish, or would they only take maybe a minute to finish? So you have this worksheet with you right here. Okay, what I'm going to ask you to do right now is I'm going to ask you to cut out these squares for me right now, okay? So go ahead and cut those out. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at each activity on the card. And we're going to decide if it takes just a minute to do it, or if it would take the clock moving one whole hour in order for it to happen. Okay? So, all right, I have my pieces cut out. If you do not have your pieces cut out yet, then go ahead and finish cutting them out and then come back and join us, okay? Pause it while you do. All right. On our worksheet, we have an hour, that means 60 minutes, and a minute, which means 60 seconds, okay? So if we're looking at this, which takes longer, an hour or a minute? Think about it. If mom says you can go outside and play in a minute, or she says you can go outside and play in an hour, which one's going to happen faster? That minute, right? We just know that it's going to happen in a minute. All right. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to look at our different activities. The first one I want you to look at, it says tie a shoelace. Tie a shoelace. Can you get that one out? All right. I brought my sneaker because let's just see how long it takes Mrs. Rooney. Okay. So I'm putting this on the kitchen counter, which I shouldn't do. Don't tell anyone. All right, I'm going to turn you down there. All right, so let's watch Mrs. Rooney tie her shoe. Okay. Okay. Did that take me an hour to do? Or probably just a minute to do? Probably just a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on my tie a shoelace, right? And I'm going to put it down in my a minute box because it really only took me like a minute. It might take me a couple more minutes if I'm learning how to tie it, but it really happens pretty quick, okay? All right. How about this one? Let's pick this one up. Watch a movie. Watch a movie. Would watch a movie, think about it when you watch a movie at home. Maybe you've watched one of the new Disney ones, or maybe the Star Wars that was released, or one of those movies. Does that take a minute, 60 seconds? Or does it take longer? Does it take probably the time it would take for the clock to move from 10 o'clock to say 11 o'clock. Would it take a whole hour? It would. Very good. So I'm going to take that and put it up for watch a movie. That would take an hour to do. Very good. All right. How about baking? Baking some cupcakes. I know a lot of you have been doing some baking while you've been at home. Can you bake something in a minute? Now, I'm not talking about in the microwave. I'm talking about in the oven. Can you bake something in 1 minute? Or does it take longer than 1 minute? And sometimes maybe an hour, a little bit longer. I would say, yep, an hour. Very good. So let's go ahead and bake our cupcake in an hour. Very good. All right. This one. Brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. Now, I know you're supposed to brush your teeth for 2 minutes, right? So is that like an hour or is that closer to a minute? I think it would go down in a minute, right? You shouldn't brush your teeth for an hour. That would not be, first of all, no one else could get into the bathroom and brush their teeth, but also I don't think your teeth need an hour. So we would put that down in a minute. Very good. How about eat a strawberry? Would that take just a minute or would it take you a whole hour? Now, if you were the slow eater, tiny bite taker in our story for Mrs. Pigglewiggle, yes, it probably took him an hour. But for us to eat one strawberry in a minute or in an hour? In a minute. Very good. All right. So we'll put that down in a minute. Very good. All right. How about cook dinner? Cook dinner. How long does that usually take? Does dinner happen in a minute? If you're cooking dinner in the kitchen, does it take 1 minute? That'd be nice if it did. Or does it take closer probably to an hour? It takes longer. Very good. So I would definitely put it up in an hour. Very good. How about, I know a lot of you are doing this right now. Go on a bike ride. Is it 1 minute long? 60 seconds? Like that? Or does it take a little bit longer? I would definitely say closer to an hour. Good job. Okay. And last one, how about sing a song? Does a song last for an hour? No, it's closer to a minute, right? Good job. All right. Very good. Today, what I'd like you to do, now that we've sorted this, is I want you to think about something that takes you an hour to do, or close to, something that takes longer to do, and something that you did today that only took a minute. Okay? Something that took a minute today. So I want you to think of your own thing from today that took a minute, and then I want you to think of something here that took closer to an hour, something that took you longer to do. All right? All right, my friends, great job on hours and minutes, and I'll see you later.